Hello, welcome to part one of a condensed and somewhat brief review of the materials covered so far concerning the basic structures of rhythm. So we said that rhythm is a container made of time. In other words, rhythm is structure in the world of time that holds or contains all of the other elements of music. Structure in the world of time is based upon the principle of regularity, which gives rise to a regular pulse. Each unit of this regular pulse, each individual unit, may be referred to as a beat. Each beat consists of an attack, which occurs at the very beginning of the beat, and a duration, which lasts up until the attack of the following beat. If each beat of the pulse is divided in the simplest possible way, which is into two equal halves, then a new level of pulse is created. Each beat of the new pulse is exactly half the duration of the beats of the larger level. This is called binary subdivision. Conversely, if we group each beat of a pulse in the simplest possible way, which is grouping by two, a new larger level will be created, whose beats are each twice as long in duration as the beats of the smaller level. This is called binary grouping. The two smaller level beats that make up the equal halves of a larger level beat do not have the same quality. The first smaller level beat, whose attack occurs simultaneously with the attack of the larger level beat, has a quality which might be referred to as more substantial, heavier. It's hard to put into words, but it's a different feeling. The second smaller level beat, whose attack does not occur simultaneously with the attack of the large level beat, has a different quality which we might call less substantial or lighter. These smaller level beats of differing qualities are referred to in music sometimes as simply beat and offbeat, or downbeat and upbeat, or a more technical term, thesis and arsis. And at the larger levels, we sometimes refer to them as fall and rise. This alternation of beat and offbeat occurs at all levels and is what gives rise to the qualitative dimension in the world of time, which we refer to, aptly enough, as alternation. Each offbeat at any given level links or associates with a neighboring downbeat, either the one directly preceding it or the one directly following it. We call this association. An offbeat that associates with the following beat is called an anacrusis, or a pickup. Therefore, this type of association is sometimes referred to as anacrustic association or pickup association. An offbeat that associates with the preceding beat is called a rebound. Therefore, this type of association is sometimes referred to as rebound association or acoustic association. Acoustic being the opposite of anacoustic. These links or associations are a result of sensations of movement and rest found in the music. Harmonic and melodic factors combine to create a sense of motion flowing into a sense of rest, a sense of tension flowing into a sense of release, a kinetic sensation flowing into a static sensation. With pickup association, the movement or tension is on the offbeat or rise, and it flows into a resolution or a rest on the fall or the downbeat. In rebound association, you have motion on the downbeat flowing into rest on the offbeat. So to give some linguistic examples, pickup structure would be like the word today, or explode, or complete, where you have motion on the rise or off the beat and rest on the beat. In poetic verse, these words are referred to as iambs, and therefore this type of anacoustic structure is sometimes referred to as iambic association. Rebound structure is like the word morning or window or ransom, where the motion is on the beat and the rest is off the beat. This type of structure in poetic verse is what's called a trochee, and therefore rebound association is sometimes referred to as trochaic. It's important while making these linguistic analogies that we don't fall into a trap, and that trap is to refer to beats or downbeats as accented and offbeats or upbeats as unaccented. You could accent an offbeat all you want and it doesn't make it a beat. You can accent an upbeat, it doesn't make it a downbeat. Many music theorists have fallen into this trap, and it has caused a lot of confusion because the terms accented and unaccented have to do with amplitude or volume, which exists in the domain of sound and in the domain of performance, whereas the concepts of beat and offbeat are phenomena that occur strictly within the realm of time, in the world of time and the qualitative dimension of time that we've referred to as alternation. So beat and offbeat have to do with where a given duration occurs in relation to the next largest level, and it has nothing to do with accenting or not accenting the content of what fits into the container of rhythm. The iambic or anacoustic or pickup structure, with its rise or offbeat associated with the following beat, is a far more natural situation, and that is because the motion or tension is found on the offbeat or the rise, which, as you may remember, is also called the arsis, which in Greek means a lifting or rising. resolution or the rest, the static quality, is found on the thesis, which is the beat or downbeat, which in Greek, thesis means setting in place, placing, setting down, which implies a more static quality. So it is most natural to have movement on the rise, rest on the fall. And in fact, these anacoustic structures are what we call rhythmic cells. And the larger levels of rhythm are made up almost exclusively of these anacoustic rhythmic cells. The rebound structure is found mostly only at the smaller levels and is a result of the subdivision of larger metric durations. And we'll see some of those in more detail when we look at some examples. But let's look first again at these rhythmic cells and see how they consist of movement on the rise, rest on the fall, followed by breath, and then the cycle repeats. Movement on the rise, rest on the fall, breath. Movement on the rise, rest on the fall, breath. By breath, I don't necessarily mean a physical breath, although that would be the logical place for a vocalist or a wind instrumentalist to breathe. But musically, what I mean by a breath is a separation where one gesture, musical gesture, has come to completion and another one is about to begin. So between breaths is what we call a phrase, and phrases can happen at different levels. You can have small phrases or larger phrases. For this reason, these rhythmic cells or anacoustic structures are sometimes referred to as phrasing structure, whereas the rebound structures are referred to as subdivision structure. Well, that concludes part one of this review of the basic structures of rhythm. I hope it's been helpful in reinforcing your understanding of how this container structured in the world of time is generated via the principles of regularity and simplicity, as well as your understanding of the qualitative dimension of alternation with its beats and offbeats and associated words that mean essentially the same thing. Also, I hope it's been helpful in clarifying the concept of association of offbeats with neighboring beats, which gives rise to pickup structure and rebound structure and their associated terminologies, and how association specifically gives rise to the large level phrasing structures that we call rhythmic cells. In part two of this review, we will see some concrete musical examples of how this all works, including how the different levels are constructed and identified. I think part two will help tremendously in solidifying these concepts for you and will help to bring them to life. So I strongly urge you to check it out. Till then, thanks for listening.